It's 5 o'clock somewhere. That's right. Your favorite uncle is back.
That was Big Sarge.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuning to the Texas Tailgate Talk Show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Welcome to Happy Hour. What y'all drinking on, man? What y'all drinking on? Hey, look, let me tell y'all something. Sarge got something he need to do, so he's sipping on just water. Okay, y'all. I'm just sipping on water. Man, oh man, oh man. It's been a while. Y'all see, I got all dressed up for this, right? Don't act like y'all. Don't act like I ain't trying to be respectful. I got all dressed up. You can see the background is different, right? We moved. And in the midst of moving, I decided that I was going to take me a step back from doing a lot of things and just spend some time with my wife. So I had an opportunity to just spend some time with my wife. We celebrated our 4th wedding anniversary. I've been getting on her nerves. We went to Castle Rock. We ran a 5K. Yeah, we just been doing a lot. I needed some time. Got a chance to spend some time with my grandbabies. But I'm back, y'all. And it's crazy. And it's crazy because it hit me right before training camp started that this is my 10th season covering the Houston Texans. Covering the Houston Texans. You know who I'm talking to. You know the guy that says he doesn't cover the Houston Texans. Ain't seen you at not one training camp, game, press conference. I ain't seen you at shit. Hand over heart. Hey, I can't get demonetized that quick. Anyway, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to another exciting season of the Texas Tailgate Talk Show on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter, the Big Sarge Sports, the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. And make sure you are subscribed to the Texas Tailgate Talk Show on YouTube. I got some exclusive stuff over there, y'all. And I'm dropping some more exclusive stuff. See, I ain't put everything over there. So I put the Kamari Lassiter over there to get things started, that exclusive interview. And then I dropped the Caden McDonald, the rookie defensive tackle for the Texans. I dropped that. But I still got a Henry To'oTo'o I ain't dropped yet. I still got a Henry To'oTo'o I ain't dropped yet. I got an offensive coordinator, Nick Caley, I ain't dropped yet. And I got an Ariante Ursery that I haven't dropped yet. But you ain't gonna be able to see it if you ain't subscribed. You might see a clip, but you ain't gonna see the whole thing. And then you already know if I'm doing the interview, you've got to see the whole thing. Now, somebody asked me, they said, what you doing with that suit on, Sarge? Well, it's because I've been gone for a while, right? I've been gone for a while, so I want to make sure that I dressed up for my return. And you may see a lot more of this year. It's the 10th season for me. And because it's the 10th season, you know, I gotta look and dress the part. And in a couple of weeks, God. And probably about 2 weeks, what's the day? The 10th, the 17th, or maybe the 19th, either the 17th or the 19th. I got a major announcement coming. I think y'all gonna like that too. I think y'all are gonna really, really like that. Man, but hey, look, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be here with you all. So before we get started, some people have been asking me, hey, Sarge, how come you haven't been doing your recaps lately? How come you haven't been doing the recaps from the from training camp? Because normally I would give you you don't look as relaxed in a suit. Man, I feel amazing. Oh, come on, bro. You think I feel like I'm about to go to court? Eddie, come on, Eddie. Don't do me like that. Eddie, hey, chat. Eddie think that I feel like I'm about to go to court because I got tickets or something. Hey, Eddie, all my kids are grown. I don't owe no back child support. You think a Sarge like he got to go to court? You know what? I should have grabbed my glasses and put them on, right, Eddie? If I'd have put my glasses on with this suit, you'd be like, oh, that boy trying to avoid going to jail. He done went out. He done cut his locks off. He got glasses on to try to make him look smart. They ain't even prescription. That one got a shirt and tie. No, Eddie, I feel great. So, okay, so look, one of the reasons why I may look a little bit uncomfortable, I can't find my mic stand. I can't, so I got to hold it in my hand. And it feels weird because, it's like when you're getting ready to take a picture, you don't know what to do with your hands. She's like, what am I supposed to do with my hands? So, back to what I was saying, as I digress. People have been asking me, why haven't I been doing post-practice recaps? Well, I stopped. And one of the reasons I stopped is because, you don't want to eat the same meal 7 times in one day, do you? I know, Eddie. I know, I appreciate that. You don't want to eat the same meal 7 times in one day, do you? Like, you don't want to, like, if your go-to meal is steak, potatoes, green beans, cornbread, right? And if you eat that in the morning at 8 o'clock, you don't want to eat it again at 10 o'clock, and then eat it again at 12 o'clock, and then eat it again at 2 o'clock, and then eat it again at 4 o'clock, and then eat it again at 6 o'clock, and then eat again. Like, you don't want to keep eating the same meal over and over and over again. At some point, you're gonna say, man, I'm tired of eating this same shit. This is trash. I can eat seafood 24/7. Yeah. Oh, here we go, Eddie. In the immortal words of the great Negro poet Pimp C, I'm eating so much shrimp, I got iodine poison, right? Right, that's what you're saying to me, Eddie? Anyway, you don't want to keep consuming the same meal over and over and over again. And that's what I feel like it is with these recaps. Now, that is not a shot at anybody that does these recaps. I'm not taking a shot at any of my colleagues who do training camp recaps. I'm not taking a shot at anyone because everybody has their own different crowd. Everybody has their own different audience. Everybody has people, their own different style and people they cater to. But at the end of the day, if Tank Dell is back in padded practice like he was today, you don't want to hear 13 times Tank Dell came back today and he was in padded. He was in pads. Tank Dell participated. Now, is that a hot topic? Sure, it is. But you can't keep hearing that over and over and over again without your mind wandering off somewhere else. Like the first 2 times you hear it, you're going to say to yourself, oh, okay, cool. I get it. I understand. Got it, Sarge. Yep. Yep. I got it. And are we going to talk about Tank Dell? Of course. What's up, Queen? Of course, we're going to talk about Tank Dell. Of course, we're going to hop into some of the Tank Dell talk, but I didn't want to keep giving you recaps knowing that right after practice, there are people putting up their instant recaps. There's instant recaps. So by the time I finish mine and edit mine and put it out, no. So that's why I said to myself, hey, today is the day. Today is the day, bro. If you're not going to do recaps, then you better make sure that you jump your ass on a podcast. You better make sure that you jump your ass on something on a live, and you better tell these people what's going on. Tell these people what you're seeing. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So on today's episode, Will Anderson Jr. is the big joker. Now, listen, some of y'all may not understand that right now. I'll tell it to you in a second. And if you're one of those spades players, that play joker, deuce, deuce, what's up, Tay? If you're one of them spades players that play joker, deuce, deuce, hey, go ahead and log off now. I don't need to talk to you. I feel like you eat glue. I feel like you sniffed the number 8. Go ahead. Go ahead and log off and stop following me. Cause Joker, Deuce. Who does that? The Joker, the big Joker is the do all, be all, is the master of the spades table. The big Joker trumps everything. The big Joker trumps everything and everybody. I did lick windows in the past. Dang, why? I mean, bro, she just didn't want you no more. You ain't had to lick a window to remind her that you still want to be with her. She just let her go, man. Tay, if you need to talk after this, bro, hit me up in the DMs, man. We can have some talks. You didn't want to let her go. You start licking the window. But the big Joker trumps everything and all things. So don't be, I don't want that Joker. We play Joker, deuce. Yeah, well, where is the tonk table? Who's playing pity pat? Go fish, war. Hell, if you playing Joker, deuce on in spades, then I would rather play, 52, 53 card pickup, however many cards in there, you know what it is, 52, 53 card. I'd rather play that. But Will Anderson Jr. is the big Joker. Tank Dale's return could alleviate some of the Texans' passing issues. And one of the issues the Texans are having on the offensive line is puzzling, right? One of the issues that the Houston Texans are having on the offensive line is puzzling to me because, and when we get into it, we're going to talk about it. I'm trying to fully evaluate it, but it's just it's weird. It's weird. But we're gonna talk about it. All right, y'all. Let's go camping. First of all, congrats to Henry Toa. Hey, look, let me tell y'all something. One of these days, y'all are gonna listen to me. One of these days, y'all gonna listen to me. Is Henry Toa one of the best linebackers in the NFL? No. He'll tell you that. He'll tell you, hey, I still got a lot to work on my game. Henry Toa came to the press conference on last week and admitted the games that he messed up on. Listen, I'm gonna take you all inside the Texas locker room because that's just what I do and that's just who I am. Now I ain't gonna tell you everything. But in my 10th season, I may flex a little bit on some of these things that goes on, behind the scenes as far as these type of things. So after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, which the Texans lost, what was the score of that game? Can somebody put up the score of that Tampa Bay game? But if you remember, there was a play where they had him like third and I forgot what it was. It was third and something. And Henry blitzed. And Henry came in. And Baker Mayfield, Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback, Baker Mayfield was able to get out of the pocket, scramble for, 20-plus yards. The play, I'm familiar with the play. I'm not familiar with the down in the distance. So Henry came in he came full speed ahead and Baker sidestepped him and took off, right? So the next week, right? I think it was Monday. Well, no, not Monday. Because that game may have been, I can't think of the day the game was on. Well, whenever we were allowed, not right after the game, but 2019, thanks, Tay, whenever we were allowed back in the locker room, one of the things that I went straight over to, it was third and forever. I went over to Henry's locker and I started talking to him. And I said, Henry, I done watched that play like 4 times. I said, you came in too fast, and you let him. You came in entirely too fast when you should have came in and broke down, right? And I said, I'm asking because I've never played linebacker in the NFL. I'm asking. That's just an observation. Is that what should have happened? He said, Sarge, that's exactly what should have happened. He said, that's on me. See, when Henry was taking responsibility and accountability for the way for some of the way that he played on last season, and he can vividly remember the games where he didn't play his best games. That's Henry To'oTo'o in a nutshell. I don't know if you all remember, but before Henry came to the podium, D'Amico was at the podium, and D'Amico says that Henry is one of those players that will mess up, and then he'll come over to either his coach or come over to D'Amico and tell him, "Hey, I messed up, and this is where I messed up at, and this is how I can fix it." He says Henry is almost self-coaching himself. He said, "Now, don't get me wrong. I give him I give him advice, and I'll add on to the advice, but for the most part, Henry knows exactly where he messed up, what he did, and that's who Henry To'oTo'o is. So that's why I'm not surprised that Henry To'oTo'o got that contract extension. I'm not. And one of the things that you've seen is he's constantly gotten better and better and better every year. Yes. Does he still need to work on pass coverage? Of course. He'll tell you that he needs to work on pass coverage. Can he be a little bit better in the run game? He'll tell you that. But what you can't take away from Henry is the fact that he's not afraid to tackle. He's not afraid to get in the run game. He's not afraid to cover. And he's going to give you 100% on every play. Every play, Henry is going to give you that. And so that's what D'Amico Ryan seen. That's what General Manager Nick Caserio seen. They seen, what type of player that Henry is. So congratulations to Henry To'oTo'o. What's up, Rev? I already cussed, so I ain't going to cuss in front of you now. I cussed a long time ago. That's another story from that time. So congrats to Henry To'oTo'o on getting his contract extension. Hey, I know. I'm not going to go all the way into it because I think that one of the guys from Fox 26 interviewed him today. And I don't want to step all over his interview because I think this is going to be a very, very, very good one. If you all get an opportunity to watch Fox 26, they did an interview on Lewis Bond, the Texans rookie wide receiver. You've heard his name be thrown around a lot. You've heard his name as far as one of the camp standouts. I even asked D'Amico last week about him being a camp darling. He's one of the guys that the media and fans have gravitated to. And listen, even Steve Smith Sr. said that the Texans got a gem in him. Like I said, I'm not going to step on the interview that Fox 26 is going to have. But let me just tell you this. When I'm watching this young man, no, I didn't talk about Marlon Klein yet. I ain't gonna lie, Rev. I may not talk about Marlon Klein right now. I may talk about Marlon Klein on the next podcast, especially since I'm international, Sarge. Now, if you follow me, you seen the pictures. I got an opportunity to talk on the German platform about Marlon Klein. That's not a story from that time. Lewis Bond. I like Lewis Bond is a very, very, very good route runner. He's one of those guys that just knows how to get open. Let me just say it like that. He's one of those guys that knows how to get open. He's one of those guys that runs really, really good routes. And that's what I picked up and I noticed. Now, that wide receiver room is crowded. Like that wide receiver room is very crowded. And so I don't know where he's going to fit. I definitely know that they ain't letting him get away. They're not letting Lewis Bond get away from him. Yeah, and shout out to the Houston Texans scouting department for being able to recognize that that's a player that they were able to get in the later rounds, and that's that's a player that could really help them out. If not this year, maybe somewhere later on down the line. But Lewis Bond has been showing out, and if you get an opportunity to watch Fox 26, make sure you watch that interview. He's a really good player. Hey man, let me tell y'all something. I'm so tired, right? I'm so tired of the disrespect towards cornerback Kamari Lassiter and safety Kalen Bullock. When I tell y'all I'm tired of it, I'm tired of it. And what I mean by I'm tired of it, these two players, they ain't done nothing but balled out. Well, Sarge, you're a little biased because you get an opportunity to watch them and you get an opportunity to talk to them one-on-one. No, I also am a diehard football fan. I've been watching football for a long time. And watching those two young men play, those two guys, they can play. They're very good at what they do. Are they going to make mistakes? Yes. You can't tell me a football player right now. You can't tell me a football player who hasn't made a mistake. Not a one. But I like Kamari because he uses that disrespect as motivation. And one of the most underrated things that I think that people don't know about Kamari Lassiter, because they look at him, they see his demeanor, they see his fearlessness on the field. But if you go and you look at the interview that I did with him, it's on my YouTube page on Texas Tailgate Talk on YouTube. Subscribe. Kamari Lassiter is one of the smartest people. I don't want to even just say football players. Kamari Lassiter is probably one of the smartest people I've been around. Like, he's smart. Like, he was smart. And talking to his parents, I found out how smart he was in high school, how smart he was in college. Like, he is really smart, and he studies the game. He's like a junkie. He studies the game. And so when he makes a mistake, he's able to adjust in real time. With Kalen Bullock is just a natural born athlete. He's a natural born athlete. He's a natural born safety. He's free safety was made for him. I look, when Kalen was probably 11, they was like, yep, that guy right there is a free safety because of his natural ability to get to the ball and his freakish athleticism. So when you combine both of those things, right? When you combine those things with Kamari and you combine those things with Kalen, I don't know why they don't get put on these lists. I don't know why they don't get put on these lists, these cornerback lists or the safety lists. Like, I don't understand why. Are we looking at it from a football perspective, or are we looking at it whichever agent I'm cool with? Okay. It's been a minute, y'all. We got a little time. Hey, hold on. Can I? No, I do not speak. I don't speak German. I know Guten Morgen and Scheisse. That's it. Hey, I got a little time. I got a little time. Some of y'all know this already. Some of you don't. But a lot of sports, a lot of times in sports, especially in the bigger sports, and what I mean by the bigger sports, I'm talking about the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, is starting to spill over into the WNBA now as well. It's an agent-driven league. And so with the inception of social media and everybody becoming a social media analyst, and everybody has these platforms that they're writing about players and they're analyzing players and they're doing the numbers and they're doing analytics. A lot of these people that's doing that don't have the access to the players, right? So when they don't have the access to the players, but they're trying to gain favor, then they'll reach out to the agents, or sometimes the agent will reach out to them and say, hey man, just trying to develop a relationship with you, blase this, blase that. Yeah, I represent such. Or they reach out to them and they be like, I know you represent such. So sometimes these lists are not driven by talent. I'm not saying all. I'm not, because I know there's one person out there that's gonna say, Sarge said that these lists ain't nothing but made up of agents. No, I did not say that. There's a lot of well-deserving guys that go on this list. Kalen and Kamari should be on there as well. But a lot of these lists and a lot of these things are favors or trying to gain favors from the agents. I digress. I'm tired of the Kalen Bullock and the Kamari Lassiter disrespect. All right. Last thing I got before we jump into our real topics for today. Let me say this. All right. What is this? 2437. I'm marking this because I'm gonna clip this up and I'm going to put this out, and then I'm going to sit back and listen to everybody tarnish and bash my names. I'm going to listen to my colleagues say Sarge don't know what the hell he's talking about. I hate Sarge. There's one guy in the media that's a loudmouth that thinks he knows everything. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm about to be 55 years old. I am not. No new friends. No new friends. No. I'm good. If you never speak to me again, I've told y'all this on numerous occasions. I am double kin. I went to a HBCU, Prairie View A&M University. I pledged Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. I am a veteran of the United States Army. I belong to 2 gyms. That means that if you won't talk to me, I'm cool. I think I got a lot of people that I can talk to. I preface that to say this. So there's this narrative going around, right? There's this narrative going around. And don't get me wrong. It's 50% right and 50% wrong. All right. This narrative is 50% right and 50% wrong. Right. Is the offense struggling? Is the Houston Texans offense struggling during camp? Yes. Do they have times where they win some of the battles? Yes. But if you had to take the first, I think it's 10, I think today made day 10, if I'm not mistaken. If I had to go and evaluate the first 10 practices, and that's shirts and shorts and pads, if I had to evaluate that, and I'm strictly evaluating it off of the team drills, if I'm strictly evaluating it off the team drills, I would say that out of the 10 practices, the defense has probably won 8, 8.5. About 8.5 of those 10 practices. Y'all check me if I'm wrong, but I think it's been 10 practices. The defense probably won about 8.5 of those, right? And so, yes, when you push this narrative about the offense and how bad the offense looks and how bad the offense is, and you start criticizing, CJ, and you're talking about how he's not doing this, that, and the other. 50% of it is right. Yes, the offense has struggled. But the other 50% that you leave out, that a lot of you all leave out, that a lot of these media members leave out, a lot of these media members who don't even show up to nothing. Do you have access to? Yes. Do you show up? No. And you can't show up to 1 or 2 practices and base your evaluation over what's been going on. Because the only thing that you've really been doing is just reading tweets, watching content of the people who've been boots on ground. I digress. 50% of it is right. You're right. The offense is struggling. The other 50% that you're leaving out is the fact that they're going against the number 1 defense. And this is the shit that that pisses me off. And this is where it gets tricky, because we live in a clickbait trolling social media era. If the offense was winning, then you'll start criticizing the defense and saying, well, wait a minute now, I thought this defense was supposed to be high powered. I thought this DeMeco Ryans led defense is supposed to be this, that, and the other. Is DeMeco on the hot seat because his defense is getting exposed to our training camp? You see how that works? That's that balance. That's how it works. That's how it works. It's either the offense is struggling or the defense is struggling. It's never a fair evaluation. Hey, look, CJ won on a couple of plays. CJ lost on a couple of plays. The offense won on a couple of plays. The offense lost on a couple of plays. The defense won. The defense lost. Like, it's a constant battle. But when you a constant battle between those two, and the defense, which is the best defense in the league, gets wins the majority of the battles. They're supposed to. You know why they're supposed to? because for 3 years, right? For 3 years, some 3 years, some 4 years, you've got players who have played in that system, who knows that system like the back of their hand. I just got through talking about Kamari, and I just got through talking about Kamari Lassiter and Kalen Bullock, right? And Kamari told me, "Hey, I'm still learning this system. There's different things." He says, "But I'm also able to do some things because I know that Kalen is behind me. And because Kalen is behind me, now I can do some certain things because we're thinking the same way. And because we've been in the system for so long, we're on the same wavelength, right? We're on the same wavelength. Kalen, hey, I know what Kamari is going to do. So when I see Kamari do certain things, he don't even have to, sometimes Kamari don't even have to say anything to me. He just turns and look, and I know exactly what he's thinking. So now I know, or I'm going to adjust based off of I know exactly what he's going to do. That comes with consistency and continuity in a system. The only thing that the Houston Texans have added to their defense is Reed Blankenship, the missing piece from their defense. We here. I can say it. It's been a minute. Hold on, y'all. Let me go ahead and lose this tie. Y'all see me with the shirt and tie on, man. Y'all know. Let me go ahead. That's why it's so weird. That's why it's so weird to hear C.J. Gardner-Johnson talk bad about. Well, he did not talk bad. I apologize, CD. You did not talk bad. That's why it's crazy for me to hear him say some of the things that he said. Well, they got rid of me because I wasn't gelling with the team. Well, tell him why you wasn't gelling with the team, CD. Because you freestyled a lot. You freestyled a lot. You did a lot of the things that you wanted to do on your own. They cut me after we went 0-3 because they say I wasn't gelling with the team. Well, go back and look at those first 3 games and watch how everybody's moving in unison except you. Certain plays, everybody's moving in unison and you're doing your own thing. And now when you start to do your own thing, guess what happens on the back end? I'm sorry, not on the back end. Guess what happens to the system? Guess what happens to everybody else? Now they're expecting you to be somewhere, expecting you to do something because that's what the offense calls for, and you're not doing it. So now everybody has to try to make up for that. It's no coincidence that they went 0-3 with you, and then what did they do after you left? After they released you, what happened? Even if that strong safety position wasn't as talented, because there were some good players there. I like Miles Brown. I like I can't think of MJ Stewart played there for me. Like, I'm not saying that those guys don't have talent, but like Reed Blankenship is he the real deal. He the real deal, and he doesn't mind tackling, and he doesn't mind tackling. He doesn't mind coming down in the run game, which is something that can free Kalen. Kalen doesn't have to come down all the time to make tackles. Now you got Reed Blankenship, a bigger safety. But when C.J. Gardner-Johnson wanted to do his own thing, so when you're doing your own thing, when we call him in my fraternity, right? In my fraternity, we call you GDI. GDI is a God individual. Oh, so you a GDI, huh? Oh, you don't care nothing about your line brothers, huh? Oh, you don't care what happened to your line brothers as long as it don't happen to you. You just looking out for you, huh? You a GDI. I got it. Hey, y'all, we got a GDI right here. He don't care nothing about none of these other dudes up in here. He just care about himself. And that's what CD was. That's what C.J. Gardner-Johnson was. Cared about himself. Only thought about himself. Only wanted to, and that's why he was released after 3 games. I digress. When you have that defense that has been together for that amount of time, and Reed Blankenship comes right in and picks up and continues to go, right? And now you add another piece, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on, in Jadeveon Clowney. And now you got a young rookie who just ready to rip the pass off of anybody standing in front of him. And now you got that depth, like that whole unit for 3 years, three going on 4 years for some of them, just been in that system, and they know it like the back of their hand. So of course they're going to win. Of course, Will doesn't have to think about what Azeez is going to do because he already knows. Daniil doesn't have to worry about what's going on behind him because he know Derek got it, or Kamari got it, or Henry got it. Doesn't matter. Hey, Sheldon Rankins is lined up next to me. He's a vet. I already know what he's going to do. I play with him. I know how smart he is. Cool. Bam. They should be. That's how it should be. And when you look on the offense side of the ball, tell me about the continuity that CJ has had. Don't worry. I'll wait. The only constant that CJ has had is Nico Collins. That's it. So are you always trying to give CJ a pass? No, I'm not trying to give CJ a pass. I'm thinking logically. I used to tell my kids when I was a teacher, right? Hey, common sense ain't all that common. And I get it. Common sense ain't all that common. And especially for some of you all on social media, especially some of you all behind these microphones, on the radio, on television, on social media, you get it in your brain that you want to push this narrative, and that's the narrative that you push when you don't add in everything else. You leave out certain things because you're trying to push this narrative, because I get it. The clicks, likes, and retweets, that's what gets you paid or gets you famous or whatever the case may be. But when you're talking about the offenses having issues, yes, they are going to have issues. They are going to have issues. Which leads me to, and Dalton Schultz too. I think he's suffering from some type of mental illness, Sarge. That's a while. But that leads me to my next point, right? One of the issues the Texans are having on the offensive side, on the offensive line, is puzzling. Last week I teased something after I did a recap after one of the Texans training camp. I can't remember which one it was. But I told you that there's a certain offensive issue that the Houston Texans is having, and they're going to have to fix that, and they're going to have to fix it quick. So the Houston Texans got a right tackle issue. And what makes it so crazy that they have a right tackle issue is that they had a really good right tackle, and they traded him to Cleveland because they didn't want to pay him. Okay, I get it. You can't pay everybody. I got it. You pay Will. You got to pay CJ. You didn't pay Sting. You didn't pay Nico. You're going to have to pay Kamari. You're going to have to pay Kalen. You paid Jalen. You paid Azeez. Like, I understand. There isn't enough money to go around for everybody. I got that part. I understand. But you let you let a really good right tackle go in Titus Howard. You traded him to Cleveland. And now you got a right tackle issue. Titus could play every position along that offensive line. And I think we've seen him play everyone except center. I think we've seen Titus play every position except center. But his primary position, where he flourished, where he thrived, where he was very good at, was right tackle. You ain't got to take my word for it. Just go back and watch. The proof is in the pudding. So now you got a right tackle issue because you got Braden Smith there. Let me make sure I said his name right because I don't want to butcher anybody's name. Yep. You got Braden Smith there, and you got Trent Brown, right? So this is where this is where I'm perplexed at. This is where I can't, and this is what I can't understand. Because I just told you that the Houston Texans have a right tackle problem, right? I'm about to sound like a hypocrite because I am perplexed. So it's going to sound like I'm being hypocritical. But do they though? Like they have a right tackle problem, but do they have a right tackle problem? Because I don't know if you all know this or not, or how many training camps you've been to this year, but Trent Brown, who plays the right tackle, and Braden Smith, who plays the right tackle, have to line up in front of Will Anderson Jr. every practice. They got to line up in front of him every team drills. You got Will Anderson Jr. right in front of you. The same person that Sheldon Rankin said today in his press conference when I asked him about Will's growth as far as going into year 4 and how he has seen him, especially since he's been around some of the best defensive ends and seen some of the best defensive ends play this game. He said, if Will want to shut down practice, Will can shut down practice. If Will don't want them to get a playoff, they're not gonna get a playoff. If Will don't want them to pass the ball, they're not gonna pass the ball. If Will wants to tackle for loss, Will is going to get a tackle for loss. So then that's where, like I told you, it's puzzling to me because is it you have a right tackle issue, or is Will Anderson Jr. just that good? Like that's the question that needs to be answered, right? Now I'm gonna be honest with you. Will and Titus had their battles, and Titus got the best of Will sometimes, and sometimes Will got the best of Titus, but they made each other better, right? They made each other better. And so that's what I'm saying. What is it? That I'm confused. What is it? Will the new JJ? Yeah. Well, I made a comment a long time ago, and I said that Will is going to be better than JJ. He's not going to win the Defensive Player of the Year awards like JJ did, because JJ had those, but for what Will does, Will has a whole different skill set, and that's what I'm basing them off of. If I'm basing them strictly off of what JJ did, JJ's always going to win out. But if I'm basing it in totality of combining what Will can do what JJ does, I don't know if JJ can do everything Will can do. I know some of y'all gonna clip that up. I got that part. I'm cool with it. This ain't something I'm just now saying in 2026. I said this during Will's rookie year. I've said this in front of Will. I've said this in front of JJ. That's just my opinion. And, you can disagree with it if you want to, and that's cool. It's mine, not ours. I digress. So I don't know if the Texans have a right tackle issue, or Will Anderson Jr. is the NFL Defensive Player of the Year right now. Because they're not really going to play. I can't think who on their schedule is the caliber of Will Anderson Jr. because they don't play the Rams, right? They don't play the Rams this year, so they ain't got to worry about going up against Myles Garrett, right? They play the Browns, but I don't think that they have any. No, I don't. There's nobody in the AFC South. There ain't nobody in the AFC, and now I got to think, because when you start thinking about, the top defensive ends in the game, hell, Will plays opposite of one in Danielle Hunter. Michael Parsons ain't gonna be ready, and you got Myles Garrett. So if Will is dominating those right tackles and they're doing their best to stop him, when they're going up against somebody that's not of Will's caliber, maybe they'll play better. Y'all see, look, hold on. Like, you ain't got to raise your hand all at the same time, but you understand what I'm saying now when I'm saying that? Just JHA. Who is JHA? Who's that? You got to give me names. I can't remember. I don't know who JHA is. Oh, even at Kenny. Hold on, y'all. I got Josh Hines Allen. Okay. So, but hold on. At this point in his career, you think Khalil Mack is still as effective as Will Anderson Jr.? I'm asking. Josh Hines Allen. Now that I'm back, can we table that? Can we table that? I want to table that. I don't think at this point of his career, I'm talking about Josh Hines Allen. I don't think at this point of his career that Khalil Mack is as effective as Will Anderson Jr. I just don't. And I don't know if I could say Josh Hines Allen is either. So that's where I get confused, y'all. That's where that's my confusion. I don't know if they have a right tackle issue or if Will Anderson Jr. is just that good. Speaking of Will Anderson Jr., right? So you heard me say it earlier, right? You heard me say it earlier that I play spades, right? I'm a spadeologist. I don't even know if that's a word. Is that even a word? Spadeologist. I think if it is, though, I am. I'll play spades in a heartbeat. I got spades on my phone. And I'm competitive on my phone. I play as if I play as if I'm at the cookout talking cash trash, cussing out my cousins right in front of my aunties, telling my cousins, y'all trash. I be telling my partners in front of their gals, hey, why you with him? You see how he play? You know what he doing right now? He matching colors. He sucks. Spades and dominoes, you do not want to see me in. I digress. I said earlier that I don't want to play spades with anybody that plays Joker, Ace, Joker, Deuce, Deuce. I don't care. Deuce does not belong in a spades game. The big joker trumps everything. When you put that big joker down on the table, you know what that means? Everybody else, shut the hell up. I done laid the big joker. Get the hell out of my way. You know what that means. Just drop your cards and politely pull your chairs back and just shut up. When I drop that big joker, I don't want to have to worry about, well, is it the deuce of club or deuce of diamonds that could beat the big joker? That ain't real spades. Joker, deuce. When I drop that big joker, that's it. I don't want to hear nothing. Shut up. Be quiet. I don't want to hear it. Look, hey, if you want to talk to me, text it to me. Now, I done laid the big joker. If you got something to say to me, text it. I don't want to hear your voice. And you're set. I digress. Will Anderson Jr. is the big joker of the Houston Texans. Period. Point blank. Will Anderson Jr. is the big joker. He the big joker. Will Anderson Jr. trumps everything. Everything. I just told you what Sheldon Rankin said on Today After Practice. Practice goes as Will Anderson Jr. wants it to go. 2 weeks ago, David Montgomery stood in front of the media at the podium and said, I thought Will was jumping off sides. And I kept saying, hey, he jumping off sides. He can't be that quick off the ball. And this comes from because I asked him a question. About playing in Detroit with hey, what's the defensive end from Detroit that played for Michigan? Y'all help me out. I got a brain freeze right now. the defensive end from Detroit that's really good. But I said, David, you played and you had to practice against him, and now you're practicing against Will. What is that? Like what is that? Hutchinson, Aiden Hutchinson. Thanks, Brandon. I appreciate that. You're playing against Will Anderson Jr., right? You're practicing against him. He said, man, he said during doing OTAs and minicamp, I kept saying he's jumping off sides. Like he off sides. There's no way he's getting into the backfield this quickly. He said, I went back and watched the tape. No, he's just that quick. And he is. He's just like Will. And Will, the thing that I've noticed from last year to now, from last year's training camp to now, is Will was in shape last year. Will is in better shape now. Will devoted all of his time to making sure he took care of his body this year, and he went and he trained and he learned. Even Danielle Hunter was like, hey, he doing some things. He done came into camp and he's doing some things that whew. And what Sheldon also said was Will has the mindset of I could still be better. I'm grateful to be playing this game, and I could be better. And that's how he plays it. I could be better. I could be better. I could be better. When I'm watching Will, I'm saying to myself, sheesh, Will be in the backfield so quick. Let me tell you something. And I'm not going to say no names, right? I'm not going to say who. I tweeted this last week. I seen Will come off the ball, put his hands, both of his hands, in the chest of the offensive lineman. The offensive lineman hadn't barely got out of his stance yet. He hadn't got out of his stance before Will had his hands on him and picking him up off the ground. Picking him up off the ground, pushing him. Just that quick. Just that quick. Sometimes they snap the ball. CJ is in shotgun. CJ could be in shotgun. And by the time the ball is snapped, you're looking and you're saying to yourself, how in the hell did Will get back there so fast? I seen Will damn near take a handoff. Come closer. Let me tell it to you again. I seen Will Anderson Jr. from the defensive end position, from his hand in the dirt, get into the backfield so quickly that he damn near took the handoff from CJ. He's on another level. He's on another level, and that's why I keep saying he's the big joker. Somebody said Sheldon Rankins was talking about him like he's Thanos, right? And we know that his nickname is a Terminator. I'm gonna call him the big joker because he trumps any and everything you're trying to do. Any and everything that you're trying to do on offense. And if he's treating his offense like that, what do you think he's going to do to his opponents? I can't wait until next week comes to watch Will in that joint practice against the Raiders. That old rookie quarterback. Hey, what's the quarterback name that came from Chris Weinke, right? It was Chris Weinke that was like 30 when he came into the league, right? He was 30, right? He won the Heisman, then he came into the league. How old is Mendoza? Ain't Mendoza like 30 with 2 kids and on his second marriage? Like Mendoza, like he been had, like Mendoza got a mortgage, right? Like, and that was from when he was in college. No, I'm just saying, like Mendoza, like he like 31, right? In the rookie. I digress. Because Will probably won't get an opportunity to play against him in the preseason game. It's going to be in that joint practice. And don't get me wrong, I've seen Will lose some battles. I'm not saying Will wins every battle. I've also seen Will getting double teamed a lot. But But when you double team him, guess what happens? Now you're leaving room for Sheldon to operate. Now you're leaving room for Tommy Togiao to operate. Now you're leaving room for Danielle Hunter to operate. And if they're blitzing and they're bringing Jalen Petrie, that's a free range. Or if they're swinging Henry To'oTo'o around to come into the gap where you're trying to stop Will, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you all right now, Will Anderson Jr., he the big joker. And he trumps everything. All right. Tank Dale. I don't think y'all understand. When Tank Dale takes the field for the first time in a regular season game, he's probably going to get emotional. He's probably going to get emotional. Probably going to get emotional. This has been a long, hard, tough road for Tank. And like he said, he stuck to his faith. He stuck to his faith. And he kept telling himself, I'm going to work my way back. I'm going to work my way back. And I'm going to work my way back. And, you know, you're looking at, if I had to give Tank a percentage, I think I've seen Tank operating probably right now, probably about 75%. He ain't back at about at 100 yet. And I won't give him 100 today. Today was the first time we seen him in pads. But I won't give him 100% until I can see him play in a regular season game. I need to see him cut. I need to see him take some hits. I need to see him brace for some hits. I need to see him avoid some hits. I need to see Tank. You know, it's been a long time since Tank has played football, so I need to see Tank be able to take a hit, because that's something that he's going to have to get out of his system. And it's crazy because last season rather, I went around and I asked some of the players, "Hey man, do you still get nervous before you take your first hit or before you hit somebody for the first time?" And even in the NFL, a lot of these players say, "Yeah, the first one is all like I still get nervous before I make the first." He said, "It's just, you know," they say it's just a feeling that I have. I got to get that out." It's like, but once I either take that first hit or give that first hit, I'm good to go. And so I just need for Tank to get that out of his system. Tank is still a very, very, very good route runner. Tank, you know, still catch the ball. Tank can still, you know, make the moves. And like right now, we haven't seen him do it too much. And, you know, we'll be able to see it as time goes on, because you're also practicing against Derek Stingley Jr. and Kamari Lassiter. So you're going to have to prove that you can get yourself free from them. You're also going to have to show that you may be, that you can get in some of these nooks and crannies of the defense, some of the holes in the defense, catch the ball and be able to take the hit. Because if not, it's still going to be a long, hard road for you. So I think that once Tank gets back to 100%, he'll be a person that can help that CJ Stroud and Nick Caley led offense. You know, I would love to see, you know, times when it's him, Nico, Jalen Noel, and Jaden Higgins on the field together. I would love to see, you know, 4 wideouts at some point, just to see, you know, how that's going to work. I would even love to see, you know, a package where it could be maybe him and Jaden Higgins, you know, on the same side. I'm not even talking about at the slot. I'm just talking about both, you know, lined up out wide and working like that. So I'm still, hey, look, side note, I'm still looking, waiting on the day that I can see. I want to see a package that has, you know, Nico, Jaden Higgins, and Xavier Hutchinson in there, who, by the way, is having a really good camp too, y'all. Like, he's having a really, really good camp. And maybe on the next podcast, we're gonna do stock up, stock down. Yeah, because on Tuesday we watched them practice inside of Reliance Stadium. So we're going to get an opportunity to just, see a couple of things before they play on Thursday against the Chargers. Last thing I got for y'all, because let me check I know I got to check my thing. My granddaughters met their teacher today. They start school on tomorrow. The girls met their teacher. I'm sure they'd like to tell you all about. I got to get ready to go. My grandbabies are summoned to me. Come talk to us, Paw. Come talk to us. I am. I love y'all, but I love did. Like I love did. Before I go, real quickly. So I told y'all I was puzzled and perplexed. And I told you I was puzzled and I was perplexed. Drew, I don't have a moment right now. I'm about to get off of this and call my granddaughters and get ready for my wife to come home. But just send me a message. Send me a message. DM me. We'll go from there. But let me say this. I told y'all I was perplexed. I told you all I was confused because I don't know if the Houston Texans have a right tackle issue or if it's just Will Anderson Jr. But now I think I just solved my own issue. I think I solved my own problem. Yeah, I have. I've solved my own problem. Because I also seen Jadeveon Clowney come from that side and wreak havoc. I also seen Jadeveon Clowney come from that side and blow things up from that side. So maybe the Texans do have a right tackle issue. And that's something that Nick Caserio is going to have to look into. He's going to have to fix because if you got Trent Brown over there and now you going to put Braden Smith, you got Trent Brown and Braden Smith, and can you play Blake Fisher there? You got a right tackle issue. You had a right tackle answer, but I understand finances sometimes get in the way. I got that part. Clowney looks good. He's still explosive. And you're not looking for him to be explosive the entire game as far as a bunch of snaps is concerned, but he will be effective. So I'm looking forward to seeing him a little bit more. All right, y'all, this has been fun. I'm back. Now the aesthetics may look a little bit different for right now. I'm going to try to fix as much as I can because I'm in a different space now. Because I am, because we're in a different place and I'm in a different space. I'm going to have to try to make sure that I make the background as aesthetically pleasing as I can. But this has been fun. This has been fun. I have a big announcement that I'm going to make here in about a week. Something that I think that you Texans fans and you Rockets fans are going to really enjoy. And you know what? Even you Astros fans, right? I think that you're going to really enjoy that. Because you got to take care of home first. And then once I take care of home, then you already know I watch everything. I watch the NFL, I watch NBA, I watch Major League Baseball, I watch WNBA, which by the way, real quickly, hey, Royce White, Enos Cantor, y'all are some fucking buffoons. I cussed, put my hand over my heart. Don't nobody tell Reverend Brooks. Y'all are some buffoons. I understand. I told you all a long time ago. Attention is more addictive than fentanyl. Attention is more addictive than cocaine, more addictive than alcohol. Those two are showing you. People who crave and seek attention, they get addicted to it. Like they get addicted to attention. They gotta have it. And when you look at these two clowns and Royce White, like, bro, people don't even know that you was even around the NBA. And so many people were rooting for you because they knew that you had issues with flying and they were on your side. But now look at you. You're a buffoon. Enes Kanter, you was once rated consecutively the worst basketball player in the NBA. Out of every team, you were rated the worst player. And now this is what you all are trying to do to get attention and seek attention. And normally I would just keep scrolling. But because I am a WNBA fan, because I do like watching the WNBA, and I will be covering the WNBA when the Houston Comets come back to Houston on next season, like I don't understand what you're trying to do. In 30 years in the WNBA, there's never been a man in the sport. Period. So what are you trying to prove? I don't understand it. But then again, Royce White, I don't even think your name come up on 2K ever. I don't even think you could build you. I don't even think that you could build you, Royce White, on like if they started putting your attributes, if they started putting your attributes in building a player on 2K, the game would shut itself off. The game would say, hell no, we're not building that trash. Sure, I know. Your retort would be, I was good enough to make it to the NBA. Cool. I fought in Afghanistan. Kind of 1-1, right? Gotcha. Enes Kanter. Well, I played a significant amount of time. Yeah, but I was also an Oklahoma City Thunder fan at one point, and I watched you. I've watched you play. Even at your height, you'd probably be like 24th best in the WNBA. But now you two clowns and you two buffoons are trying to circumvent whatever it is you're trying to do. And, you know, of course, they're never going to put you in they're not going to give you a tryout or anything like that. But hey, I guess if you need the attention, that's good for you right now, right? But y'all are some fucking clowns. I said it. I don't hide it. Guess what? You can follow me at Big Sarge Sports with a Z on the end at the app formerly known as Twitter. You can follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you're subscribed to Texans Tailgate Talk on YouTube. Hey, it's all one word, Texans Tailgate Talk. And you can find me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end, because we do everything for the gram. Let me look at these last comments before I get up out of here. Get back to your relaxed clothes. He didn't want to play for the Rockets. He can't play for the Comets. He can't play for the Comets now. Don't be so hard on them, Sarge. Man, F them, Eddie. They know what they doing, man. Let these women do what let them have their time to shine in this sport, man. They don't need no extra attention from these two idiots. I wouldn't pick them up. I wouldn't pick up Royce White or Enes Kanter in a co-ed league. I wouldn't even let them. I wouldn't pick them up in a pickup game at the YMCA. I'd be like, nah, we gonna go 5. You know, y'all got y'all 5. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, y'all don't mind going 5 on 4, huh? Look, we'll thug it out. I'm not never. No. Big Sarge. I'm out.
Big Sarge.